So for those of y'all that don't know, initiative number 91 is going on the ballot box in Colorado this November for voters to decide if they want to eliminate all cat hunting. That includes bobcat, lynx, and mountain lion. Now, mountain lion is kind of the poster child of this bill for both the hunters and the anti-hunters because, it's kind of the most noticeable feature out of those three. But let's go through the facts here a little bit, and also let's get some different perspectives on the matter. So my name is Carson, and I am a graduate student of history. Specifically, I do food history, agriculture history, and ecological history. So this sort of stuff is right in my wheelhouse. Additionally, I am also a hunter, but I will make it known that I have never hunted mountain lions, but I have been to Colorado and greatly respect its people and wildlife. So take that as you will. I want you to know that yes, I'm a hunter, but yes, I also am somewhat professionally trained in this background. So let's look at the facts here real quick. I'm going to read you the bill verbatim from the Colorado government. And this is so you know that I am not taking any intentional bias off the get-go. Now, I do have my own opinions, and I am going to share those in just a little bit, but let's take it for the facts first. So here we go. Here's the bill verbatim. The voters of Colorado find and declare that any trophy hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, or lynx is inhumane, serves no socially acceptable or ecologically beneficial purpose, and fails to further public safety. Trophy hunting is practiced primarily for the display of an animal's head, fur, or other body parts, rather than for utilization of the meat. Moreover, it is always conducted by unsporting means, including but not limited to using packs of dogs with electronic devices to pursue and entrap affected animals in places from which they cannot escape in order to achieve the kill. Therefore, it is appropriate and necessary to ban trophy hunting of mountain lions, bobcats, and lynx in Colorado. Now, that's full of a little bit of legal jargon, so let's take a little bit of a simplified approach here. And I also have another tidbit, also from the Colorado government. So once again, there might be some biases there, but they're not from me putting them in there. It is for the people writing up these bills for the Colorado government. So this kind of encapsulates the bill and also simplifies it a little bit. So here we go. The initiative would prohibit intentional killing or attempting to kill bobcats, lynx, and mountain lions in Colorado. Individuals convicted of any of these activities are subject to up to 364 days in jail, 1 year, a fine of up to $1,000 or both, and 5-year hunting license suspension with more stringent penalties for subsequent convictions. So now that we've got the legal jargon out of the way, let's bring in 4 cases anti-hunters bring against mountain lion hunting. And then I'm going to give you some of my own thoughts and opinions in regard to those things and kind of show you how it's like a bucket of water with a hole in it. It holds water, but maybe only halfway. So number 1, no science that says hunting is mandatory. No increase of lion-human conflicts is predicted. A dislike of trophy hunting, and they want to protect the endangered lynx. Sound like great things, don't they now? So, yes, there is no science that says hunting is mandatory, but there is management that is mandatory. California is a perfect example of this. A few years ago, California completely banned the practice of mountain lion hunting. But guess what? Biologists still go out there and kill 200, 250 plus mountain lions a year. That is so that they can still get their research. Additionally, that is so they can protect deer herds in the state of California, because predators still need to be managed. Now, I might say something a little bit controversial here. I don't think the right approach is, say, the Wyoming approach, where we can just go out guns a-blazing and run over them with snowmobiles. I'm looking at one specific case. You can Google that yourself. But I do think that hunters, under some rules and regulations, do it perfectly fine. Which, in the case of bobcats, mountain lions, and lynx, there are very strict rules against this. But I also want to throw in a tidbit here. If Colorado bans the practice of mountain lion hunting, they will lose $4 to $6 million estimated in revenue. You saw this in the state of California. In California, these hunters were not hunting in LA, major metropolitan districts. Instead, they were going to small rural towns that are very dependent on hunters. And with that, California lost tax dollars, small businesses lost business, and local guides went out of business. And what that did now, too, is instead of taxpayers essentially making money off of hunters, or the government making money off of hunters, now taxpayers and the government are paying biologists and management programs to go do the same thing that they were subsequently getting paid for. Yes, hunting is not mandatory, but there's a little bit of hole in their logic. These animals are still going to die. It's just, are you paying for the bullet or is somebody else fronting the cost? Number 2, no evidence in increase of lion-human conflict. Let's be honest, how do you think they're going to achieve that? The mountain lions are still going to die, just at a biologist bullet. And I think also wolves being introduced into Colorado kind of debunked this a little bit. Colorado said the same thing when they were going to release wolves into the state, and now all of a sudden they are releasing legal take permits, so basically permits that you can go kill a wolf if you're a farmer and you've had conflicts with these animals. They predicted no increased conflict between humans and wolves, and all of a sudden, a few short months after they do this, that doesn't really hold water. I would argue that the same is true for mountain lions, unless they're really going to pay these biologists to go kill a lot of mountain lions. And then we kind of digress back to point number 1. Just saying. So rule number 3, they dislike trophy hunting. And I'll be honest with you, I don't like trophy hunting either. The problem with the law is, though, it presents it as if there is already no law against trophy hunting. And that simply is not true. Colorado already has a wanton waste law in act, which essentially means that you have to remove the meat from the carcass at the scene of the crime. You have to take the meat of that animal home. Now, what you do with it after you take it home, they can't do anything about. But let's be honest, that's the same thing if you went to the grocery store. You could buy 15 pounds of beef, take it home, and throw it in the trash can. Nobody's going to go make a law against that, but when we throw mountain lions into the equation, it's a little bit of a different story. And I understand it a little bit, but the simple fact is the law is misleading, or the proposed law is misleading, because there is already a law against that, and yet it is villainizing the practice of hunters as if there is no law that stands in place. It's kind of the problem with that. Now, I will tell you, if you go out and you shoot a bear and just chop its head off, I kind of lose a little bit of respect for you. Now, if that bear, is a problem bear and it's attacked several people and stuff like that, it's a little bit of a different story. But you as a hunter, in my opinion, have an obligation to use that animal in some form or facet, not just cape it out and take it home. It's a little bit wasteful. I digress, though. As you can see, call me a tree-hugging hippie if you want, but I do think that it is misleading and villainizing, but I also think it does hold a little bit of water. Lastly, they want to protect the endangered lynx. Well, this one, like the previous one, is also a little bit misleading. It presents that if there is no laws standing against lynx, while if you actually go look on U.S. government, not just Colorado, U.S. government regulations, lynx hunting is banned. You can't do it. You cannot touch a lynx. Now, a little bit of the rub here comes with trapping. Some bobcat traps can also accidentally entangle lynxes, but this is when it comes to also additional rules and regulations. I know that's the big bad thing. And then also self-governance among hunters. So maybe in areas that lynx live, we ban snares or lethal traps. There's an evidence where I think some rules and regulations would be good. Additionally, self-governance among hunters. When you see a lynx entrapped, do something about it. Govern other hunters. If you see someone illegally harming lynx, do something about it. Not everything has to go to a federal or state government level. You can have self-governance over yourself. And when we fail to do those things as hunters, we can oftentimes kind of start to backpedal until we're against that wall and we can't do anything about it. If we don't allow certain rules and regulations to take place in favor of things like lynx, or we don't govern ourselves and use common sense among ourselves, we're going to be against that wall pretty soon. Because that wall almost right now is within reaching distance. And it's our job, and my intent with this video, is to back us off that wall a little bit. So, that's my 2 cents about the lynx. It's a little misleading too because there's already rules and regulations against it, but let's be honest, hunters could do better at that too. But with that, y'all, I want to say go out there, do your own research, and don't be afraid to donate to some of these organizations. But make sure you're doing your research, read really thoroughly, because you don't want to just give money to any organization, no matter which side you fall on. You want the money to go exactly where you want it to go. And trust me, there are organizations that do that. You just got to read a little bit and find it out yourself. Obviously, I have my own thoughts and opinions on this. I've shared some of them with you. You can definitely see which aisle of the spectrum that I fall on, but I want you to feel that I at least have done my research and have a good understanding, educated understanding, a professional as well as a hobbyist background in these sorts of things. So, thank y'all for watching. I'm Carson again. I'll see y'all later.